focused on really helping our members get access to what I call the 4 Cs, which is the careers that they need to be successful, a supportive community, and the connections that leads to capital. And then we help companies get access to that talent so they can hire mid to senior level executives from diverse backgrounds.
You're doing this study with QuestionPro. Do you want to share a little bit about what that's about and what the inspiration for it was?
So the study itself was really to start to find out the real reason why there hasn't been as much action as maybe we would have liked in D&I, and also just to really understand the nuance of what's going on inside organizations and also just individuals. And we wanted to do it in a way that it was anonymous, so you felt comfortable sharing that data and it wasn't tied to your company. And some of the questions that we'd asked, or some of the things that we wanted to learn, really were around like, what is your experience working with people from diverse backgrounds? And if your company is taking action, and if they are not, what would be the consequences, right, as an individual? So
the needle hasn't moved by the perception of people from diverse backgrounds in large part, and even the metrics that we're putting forth oftentimes are box-checking metrics as opposed to real fundamental sustainable change. So if I understand correctly, that's what you're trying to better understand, the nuances of what will bring about this scalable, sustainable change, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's about the nuance, and then also thinking through the actions that need to be taken to drive that change, because a lot of the time it's the conversation which needs to be had. It's really around ensuring that your organization has the best team. Thinking about D&I as a superpower to construct the best team in order to win versus a box ticking exercise or a nice to have is really, I think, what companies can leverage D&I in order to be successful and change their company. A lot of the individuals, whether you're considered quote unquote diverse, whatever that means, want to learn and work with people from different backgrounds. And they see a huge amount of value in that, and that's a superpower.
With DEI, there is a call to understand your own narrative, your own structure of interpretation, your own wounds at the team level, those people that you interact with, day to day. But there's also this systematic organizational level that leaders need to be aware of to provide that environment so conversations like this can be had, and systems and technologies and measurements are aligned towards these outcomes. Can you speak more to that in your view there?
It's multidimensional. So there's the individual piece, but then when you get into that team piece, and we all know with teams there's something else that happens, which is either that magic or something that might hold you back, and it's the team dynamics. Yeah. And then the question is, what game are we playing? So that's the structure, the corporate structure, like what is our purpose? What are the rules of engagement? And if that game is set up in a particular way that doesn't allow that individual to express themselves or feel included, you're going to have some challenges. But also you miss something as a business. You miss that ability to create that magic because you've confined people into a particular type of structure. Right. And I think that's why D&I can be a superpower. If you really let people express themselves and feel like they've got a voice and they also feel like they're included. I think the governance is really important. I also think what's really important is ensuring that D&I, again, with the narrative, is seen as something that is going to drive transformation in your company. How do you think about that as a business? Where do you prioritize it? So then once you understand how you prioritize it, then it's that narrative internally and externally, and then it comes the action. And I think one of the ways to quote unquote fast track that is really that a lot of the change has to come from leadership. And the reason that is, and you can't just have all your diverse people on the front line doing all the frontline work. The reason that is because if companies are going to then hire in more talent, guess what? A lot of your talent's going to come from referral. So you're going to want to get referrals from different perspectives.
Sure. The release of this report with QuestionPro, I heard that you're going to release it over time. It's not going to be this one big bang. Can you share about that?
We were just thinking about like how people consume information and ensuring that because that information is so important, we spend a bit of time on the initial findings, so we're releasing it in chapters. So the first chapter we'll give some insights into how people feel when working with each other from different backgrounds, and then also what the consequences will be if you don't drive D&I forward inside your organization.
eq.community. How can people learn more about that?
Yeah, so you can go to eq.community. We also have eq.app, so eq.app. If you're hiring for talent and you want to have a diverse and inclusive organization, if you're an individual and you want to be part of a community that's not just work-based and it's not super social media-based, but somewhere in between where you can learn and be part of something special, then you can apply to join EQ Community as well as an individual.
All right. Marcus, thanks for being who
Thanks
you
for having me.
are and doing what you do.